Welcome back, everybody. So, I did not get a chance to cover the Epstein files in as much depth as I would have liked to, because Christmas and the holidays really messed up my schedule. The timing of the release could not have been worse, but that just means we've got a lot to talk about now in hindsight, as more has continued to leak with the Epstein files that we can go over and talk about. So I thought we'd go ahead and dive right into it, because stuff just keeps leaking. Apparently, the DOJ did in fact break the law and did not release everything they had on Epstein. Just straight up illegal, by the way. Things continue to leak, not from the DOJ, mind you. So there's a lot of stuff they've clearly kept covered up. And we knew they were going to do that. There was a video where a official from the DOJ, who was now an ex-official, said to a journalist candidly that they're going to redact every mention of Republicans in the Epstein files and make sure to leave every mention of Democrats. And that's more or less what seemed to have happened. And we had that proven as more files proceeded to leak in the days following that actually implicate Republicans, particularly Trump. And so I thought we'd go over some of those developments. Here I've got a segment from the channel Jesse Dolmore, which has, good lord, 1.2 million subs. I've never heard of this channel before, but they're massive apparently. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at their coverage, because apparently there's some juicy stuff here. I was sent this by a fan, so let's give it a watch, shall we? If you end up enjoying, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, and join my Discord server if you want to be a part of the core of my fan base. Without any further ado, though, let's get right into it.
This was what the plan was all along: to stonewall, to stop, to delay, or just refuse altogether.
Sounds right.
It is no wonder that Donald Trump did not want the Epstein files to see the light of day. Not only have we seen the letter that was within the Epstein files that the DOJ is now seeing was fake. So apparently there's all kinds of fake evidence in the Epstein files. Make it make sense?
Well, to be fair, I will briefly play devil's advocate here. I mentioned this in my last segment on this. If you were watching a few minutes ago, you might remember. The FBI investigated shitposts online. Like, that was included in the wide range of things they investigated related to Epstein. And the point of the Epstein files release is that everything was supposed to be released. Now, they didn't end up releasing everything, but they released some of the everything. And included in that were things like them looking into things that claimed to be footage of Epstein's suicide attempts, things like that. And obviously one of them was AI generated, a classic YouTube shitpost, but the FBI still looked into it. And when the FBI looks into something, it gets documented. And those documents are the Epstein files. So yeah, there was some fake evidence in there because the FBI investigated any alleged evidence and documented it, even if their conclusion was it was fake. And it was included in those files, even if that was the conclusion, because the point of this release was that everything would be released. Full transparency. We didn't get it, but my point still stands.
Not only have we seen that letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nasser saying that Donald Trump is one of us, Donald Trump also loves to touch the young nubile girls.
That letter is so fucking creepy, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, we covered it in the last segment, so if you haven't seen that one, go check it out. It's the main thing that everybody was freaking out about when it leaked after the supposed full release of the Epstein files. Is it real? It is yet to be disproven by any notable sources as far as I have seen, and it's been days now. If anyone in chat has a source that is like trustworthy that has debunked it, then link it to me, please. But as far as I know, that Nasser email / letter appears to be real, and it does in fact refer to Trump liking to touch young women. Well, I'm just gonna say young girls, because the implication is not that they were women.
One of us. Not only have we seen that, there's also now a letter or an FBI intake form where someone is reporting that Donald Trump was present when a baby was thrown overboard in Lake Michigan, I believe.
That's a wild one, dude. That's a crazy one. Apparently Trump was technically an accomplice in a infant murder. That's a pretty wild allegation. I I have to say, it's not the most unbelievable thing ever. Like, if any president would have done that, Trump would be one. Curse of Strahd-ass situation. I hate that I know exactly that situation, because I played Curse of Strahd, and I know that goddamn segment. My buddy Stu ended up drowning and having to make a deal with his patron god to bring him back to life, and the trade-off was that his lungs were permanently filled with water, or felt like it, so he couldn't get a full breath, and it debuffed him in battle. I know exactly what you're talking about.
We're going to get to that and read it, but there's some scary shit that we're uncovering here. And this is why Donald Trump has been fighting hope against hope, fight against fight, effort against effort to keep these files from the public, because he does not want to be outed as the ghoulish abuser, some of the most heinous crimes imaginable. And look, there's a faction of people out there that think that this particular document is too far-fetched. Oh, come on, people. You don't believe that, do you? Why would you not? With all of the other evidence that we've seen, the birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein, that here's to another year.
Yeah, man. Oh, who remembers that one drawing of Mar-a-Lago with Jeffrey Epstein sitting in a beach chair out front getting massaged by ambiguously aged girls?
Of wonderful secrets, Jeffrey. Enigmas are ageless, Jeffrey. You're my best friend, child rapist. Why would we start picking and choosing and cherry picking what we believe to be true or not? The more that we see, the more fantastical yet believable some of these things we're seeing are. Let's start. Let me reacquaint you with this particular letter from Jeffrey Epstein to a convicted abuser of many, many, many girls under his authority while he was a doctor at USC working for the Olympic team. This is what Jeffrey Epstein wrote. Dear LN, Larry Nasser, as you know by now, I have taken the short route home. I don't know if that means he's going to kill himself. Who knows? Very cryptic. I've taken the short route home. Good luck. We shared one thing in common. I believe he means you and me. You, Larry.
That does sound like a suicide letter. We shared one thing in common. That sounds very final, as like a thing to write to a friend.
Larry Nasser, me, Jeffrey Epstein, we shared one thing, our love and caring for young ladies, and we hope they reach their full potential.
A letter between two convicted pedophiles, mind you.
Our president, meaning Donald Trump, also shares our love of young, nubile girls.
Letter between two convicted pedophiles, by the way.
Girls. When a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab snatch, whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of...
Trump likes to grab snatch? Where have we heard that one before? Literally out of his mouth?
When you're famous, they let you do it. You just grab them by the pussy. That's what you do, Billy Bush. You just grab them by the pussy.
The system. Life is unfair for us child rapists. Oh, how unfair. Life is unfair is yours, Jeffrey Epstein, the now dead, thankfully, Jeffrey Epstein. So the
Well, it's only thankfully if hell is real.
Department of Justice Twitter account tweeted this just to assure you that this particular thing that was found in the Epstein files in the possession of the Department of Justice, oh, that thing, that's fake, y'all. We provided a bunch of fake news in this data dump.
Yeah, there is stuff that is fake in the Epstein files for the reasons I explained before. That does not seem to be one of them. That, like, there would probably be some trail of that having been forged and posted online prior to the Epstein files release that someone would have reversed image searched and found if it was just the FBI looking at claims of evidence that was online. That seems to be something that the FBI discovered when digging through the actual letters and filed away, and Trump supporters are coping, saying, oh, well, it's not real, it's fake evidence.
This is what they said. The FBI has confirmed this alleged letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nasser is fake, in all caps. The fake letter was received by the jail and flagged for the FBI at the time. The FBI made this conclusion.
So people were sending fake letters to Epstein in jail, claiming to be another pedophile, implicating Trump while Epstein was alive. Okay.
Based on the following facts. The writing does not appear to match Jeffrey Epstein's. The letter was postmarked 3 days after Epstein's death out of Northern Virginia when he was jailed in
from Epstein to Nasser,
New York. The return address did not list the jail where Epstein was held and did not include his inmate number, which is required for outgoing mail. This fake letter serves as a reminder that just because a document is released by the Department of Justice does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. Nevertheless, the DOJ will continue to release all material required by law, except you haven't. Except they haven't. They have not followed the law that was almost unanimously voted through by Congress and then signed.
And very popular among the American people, and fairly, I'd argue, bipartisan popular. Like, I've never seen so much collaboration across the aisles, especially under a Trump administration, to achieve something that everybody seems to agree on. It's only the hardcorest of hardcore Trump loyalists that are still refusing to jump ship that are not backing this Epstein file release. And that's few and far between, even among Republicans.
By Donald Trump himself, they're not following that law. And this was by design. This was what the plan was all along. To stonewall, to stop, to delay, or just refuse altogether. Now, would you be surprised if I told you that we're now learning that the White House, that tweet wasn't from anybody at the DOJ itself, that the White House has commandeered the social media account of the DOJ and is now running it through the new year?
That feels like it should be illegal for the executive branch to be able to pretend to be the voice of the Department of Justice that oversees the FBI. Like, that feels like it should be very illegal. Like, I don't think the president's posse should legally be allowed to impersonate, more or less, the Department of Justice. And potentially, by extent, the FBI. In this case, yeah, more or less impersonating the FBI. Is that no laws about social media accounts? Well, it wouldn't be specific to social media accounts. There's got to be a law against trying to pretend to be a government institution. I guess, well, Trump has no consequences, but that's got to be illegal, though, like on paper, right? To impersonate the DOJ.
This is from Axios. They're replying to this tweet, or their own tweet. They're retweeting it. The Trump administration estimates it has about 1 week to go and as many as 700,000 more pages to review before it finishes releasing all the Jeffrey Epstein files. And they tweeted this: the White House has begun managing the DOJ's account on X, they mean Twitter, an effort to finish out the year and the Epstein file disclosure requirements set by Congress. So the DOJ wasn't doing a good enough job of providing cover and propaganda for Donald Trump, so they took over. The White House took over the account. And largely, so documents like this could be refuted, could just be denied that they're accurate. It's
Can I show you guys one of my favorite Epstein files memes? Let me bring it up. It should be really easy to find because I retweeted it a couple days ago. And I don't use Twitter much, so there's not much I'm going to have to scroll through. Let me see. Here it is. Connor Points posted this. See? Trump's not in the Epstein files. Got him! Got him! Libtard destroyed.
itself is a Federal Bureau of Investigation intake form. And I want to read some of this. This was submitted during Donald Trump's administration on August 3rd, 2020. It's got a case ID here. It's got the email address and the location of the person. Then a verified IP address. This apparently was submitted online. And this is it. I previously provided a tip about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, under an alias I have for myself. They redacted that. All of the other details of the previous tip match all of the information given in today's tip, except I'm giving my real name. A detective from the NYPD FBI Sex Trafficking Task Force called me a couple weeks ago from a 212 area code number. I talked to him for about 20 to 30 minutes about my being sex trafficked by my uncle and Jeffrey Epstein in 1984 while I was 13 and pregnant.
What's so crazy about this is it went on for decades before it got any amount of public attention, and then it went on for a while longer before any legal consequences occurred. Then it went along for a while longer before any serious legal consequences occurred, and then it went on, like, the legal stuff went on for a while before any serious public attention was called to it. Like what we're familiar with now, where everybody knows Epstein and Epstein files are a huge issue. The amount of time that this was happening behind the scenes, and the amount of time this was happening in front of the world, and yet law enforcement, the legal system, and the world as a whole kind of ignored it, or was blissfully unaware of it, is really wild in hindsight, right?
I told him some other important information about the high-profile individuals involved in my sex trafficking and the murder and disposal of my newborn daughter because I gave birth to her while in the middle of this sex trafficking ordeal. I cannot remember the detective's name, nor do I have a number where I can contact him. I would like to have his name and contact information, and I would also like to know if there will be any further follow-up. And then violation questions. I don't know exactly what the format was. What was the exact crime that occurred?
So the claim is that Trump was present for the infanticide of this sex trafficking victim's child.
This person answers, child sex trafficking and infanticide. When did the crime or incident occur? May to September 1984. Where did the crime incident occur?
Sorry, ma'am. Statute of Libertations. Yeah, I imagine that'd be how some redneck police precinct would respond in, like, Michigan, but nah. In all seriousness, I'm pretty certain that this would be taken seriously if it's real. I don't know if anything came of this, though.
Mostly from a yacht in Lake Michigan, originating in Mona Lake, Michigan. A lot of detail, no? Additional info. I'm just wanting to reconnect with the original detective.
It's a pretty crazy allegation.
I offered information about this. How was the contact known? He was orchestrating a deal along with my uncle where different men and a few women and girls would come to a variety of boats and yachts and pay money to force me to blank with them when I was 13 and pregnant. And then...
I mean, that matches the description of an MO of a lot of Epstein's crimes. I'll tell you that.
She provided witness information. Now again, look, we don't know the accuracy of this. This is just an intake form. But let me tell you, it doesn't assuage my concerns about the vile crimes committed by Donald Trump, about the credible accusations against this guy, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, an already court adjudicated rapist.
Well, you have to, well, okay. Let me clarify, because the clarification is important. Donald Trump is not a court adjudicated rapist, because in the state of New York, where he sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll, penis in vagina penetration is a necessity for the legal classification of rape. And critically, E. Jean Carroll could not confirm whether or not from behind her she was penetrated by Donald Trump's pinky finger or his penis, because his penis is just so small that from behind, without seeing it, you could not feel the difference between his pinky and his penis, which may just sound like a very roundabout way of insulting him, but a witness was brought in, that being Stormy Daniels, who famously was paid hush money after having an affair with Donald Trump, or Donald Trump had an affair on his wife with her, and she confirmed that Donald Trump's penis is so small it looks like a young mushroom, I believe was the exact wording from her. I try my best to quote verbatim. That joke, of course, has been long ran with for years. South Park famously depicts Trump as having the tiny little mushroom penis. But yeah, the court could not come to a conclusion whether or not it was rape or sexual assault, because the barrier, the deciding factor in that decision, is whether or not he penetrated her with his penis, which, based on what the court heard from Trump's sexual partners and the victim, it could have just been his pinky finger. You wouldn't be able to tell unless you saw it, and she did not see it herself. It happened from behind. But he was found guilty of sexual assault. So that's the story behind that, and now that I've given the clarification, I'm sure you know why I now felt the need to specify that there's a difference.
Additional information about this witness information, Donald Trump, again, just trying to find out the NYPD detective on the FBI sex trafficking task force that called me a couple weeks ago and spoke to me about some of these issues. How is the contact known? And this is the contact, Donald Trump. He participated regularly in paying money to force me to blank with him, and he was present when my uncle murdered my newborn child and disposed of the body in Lake Michigan.
Really throw it out there. Don't let it wash up on shore. This can't come back to us, I'm telling you. It won't be good. It won't be good. Toss that baby.
Believe what you will. Draw your own conclusions about the veracity of this, about the accuracy of this, about the reasonableness of this occurrence. But I'm not ruling it out. I'm not ruling this out either. For all of the saber rattling and the noise making of MAGA over the course of all of these years, these past years, demanding the Epstein files, demanding justice for the victims, to protect the children, save the children, the QAnon conspiracy, all of that. Where are they now? When it gets a little close to home, all of a sudden, oh, Donald Trump is innocent.
I won't lie, the amount of Trump defenders, the MAGA train is losing steam. I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but how many of you have noticed that, like, the MAGA side of the internet is real quiet these days? Like, they're not silent, they're not gone, they're not endangered, but like, God, 6 months ago, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing some MAGA cultist on any website, anywhere, shouting from the rooftops about how much winning we're doing. Have you noticed that that's been a lot less frequent in the last few weeks? The last couple months, really? Like, I've been seeing a lot less loud, proud Trump supporting as of late, and there's a reason for that. Yeah, Twitter will always have those cucks running around and doing their thing, but for a while there, they were everywhere on the internet. And I'm really starting to see them start to get quiet and fizzle out. Yeah, Facebook, they'll always have Facebook. That's boomer book. Come on.
This is insane shit. And the thing that really pushes me into the camp of believing that this is true is how much effort is going into obstructing the release of these files. The files that are a hoax and a scam. The files that will completely exonerate Donald Trump because he did nothing wrong. Why are they fighting tooth and nail to have them not released so they can exonerate Donald Trump?
Good question.
Scary, diabolical stuff here.
Keep in mind, the polling has been very clear. Like, something along the lines of 78 or 73% of Americans, somewhere in that range, if my memory is correct, believe that the Epstein files should be released fully to the public. And that is such a significant majority of people that it cannot be ignored. The fact that Donald Trump not only forced the Epstein files to release in a very limited state, like it wasn't all the files, but so much of it was redacted. I don't think a lot of people realize this is actually a thing that a lot of horror writers and horror authors, horror movie makers know, making horror games. The unknown is a lot scarier than anything you can actually depict, right? It's like that Lovecraftian concept. When you leave something up to the audience's imagination, if it's supposed to be something horrible, their mind can start filling in the blanks with the most horrible things they can imagine. And that is the same effect that these redactions are going to have. People are not going to know what is on the other side of those black bars, but what they're going to do is assume the absolute worst. The absolute worst thing imaginable is what they're going to assume is behind those, because why else would they be redacted? The redactions might have actually hurt Trump more than if they just released it all. We'll have to wait and see, though.
What do you think? I would appreciate your feedback here. Let's have a conversation in the comments about this. You can do it on
True.
Facebook or YouTube. We're both the video.
True. In fact, if you liked this video, do the same. Leave a like and a comment down below. Comment, Trump is cooked, if you watched all the way to the end. That'll be our code word, so I know that you saw the whole video. Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you want to see more from me and you haven't already. And join my fan Discord through the link down below. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who supports me, and I hope to see you in the next one.